my second big secret in learning to play the guitar. One thing I say to all my students is this: your fingers are programmed with your eyes. In my 20 years of teaching the guitar, I have firmly come to believe that the learning process and guitar playing itself is highly visual. I'll believe it when I see it, right? If you want to play it, you've got to see it. You have to watch your fingers make the movements. Staring at a book, a piece of paper, another player, or a computer screen is not going to enable you to play instantly, automatically, and effortlessly. Learning guitar chords is like learning magic tricks. The secret to magic is preparation, of having all your ducks in a row, having all your pieces in place before you do the trick. It's the same thing with guitar chords. You have to have all your movements planned out. Every one of those movements must first be reduced to a thought at some point in your learning process in order for you to call those movements up automatically. You can't learn to do 3 or 4 things at once. You learn to do one thing at once. In this course of study, I'm not going to discuss every single chord change to the level of detail we've been using so far. I'm not going to illustrate and animate every single movement of every finger in every exercise. That'd be crazy. What you're learning is a method of thinking, a solid and sound organizational principle to apply to your practicing sessions. I promise you, it works. To this very day, when I learn a new sequence of chords, a new lick, or some movement that I may not be familiar with, I watch my fingers as they make their moves. I may have to do that in triple or double slow motion, but I really want to know where my fingers are going and how they're going to get there. When I was in music school, I got tired of hearing those guys talk about where to put your finger. But finally, somebody asked me, "Karl, did you move up here to argue with us?" I didn't. So I started doing everything they told me to do. And I found that by concentrating on the individual movements of my fingers and by getting a good fingering plan for everything I was going to play, I started to learn to play, and I started to learn to play fairly well. That's one of the big secrets in learning to play an instrument. In the beginning, this type of practicing will seem kind of silly, like it's painstakingly slow and boring. And that's because it is. I'll give you that. But after a while, this type of detailed thinking becomes second nature. Okay, back to the tune, E-A-D-A. And how I would learn to make those transitions smoothly. In doing that, I'm going to share my third big secret of how a person learns to play the guitar and one of my no-fail teaching methods. Always ask yourself this question: where does my first finger go? So when you land on an E chord, you know you're going to A. You're not thinking of that whole laundry list of 3, 4, or 5 things that you were training your mind to do when you were learning the A chord. You're thinking of this. You're thinking of this question: where does my first finger go? If you put your first finger in the proper position for you to play the rest of the A chord, those fingers fall into place magically, almost automatically, almost like without thinking about it. I promise you this works. Where does my first finger go? Why does it work? Because you have been taught to visualize what you're doing, to watch what you're doing. So when you play, make sure you see the squareness of your guitar neck. That means you can see all 6 strings clearly. So there you have it. My no-fail, tried and true method of learning to play guitar chords and teaching the guitar. The first thing is training the fingers of your fretting hand as if they were the 4 members of an individual team. Give each finger their instructions separately in your thought process and self-training process. The second thing is to watch where your fingers go, learning to visualize chords and chord shapes. Watch where they land. Get clear mental images of everything you want to play. The third thing is this: ask yourself, where does my first finger go? You will find that your first finger is like the captain of the team. When he gets in position, the rest of the guys seem to magically and automatically follow suit. I am not kidding about this. It works for 99.99% of all the students I've had over these 20 years. So I encourage you to give this method a chance. You'll be glad you did. This video is meant to give you the ideas and the basic skills you need to take my course on guitar chords here at GuitarU.com. You should know the 15 open string basic chords, the idea of basic strumming patterns, how to change chords quickly and easily, and finally how to read tab or tablature. It would also be helpful if you knew a few finger exercises, but we'll get into that later, or you can get into that with your teacher or friends. In a real college, these would be called prerequisites. But thankfully, this is not a real college, nor is it any type of traditional school. It's something new. It's something different. It's something you do whenever you want to do it, at your own time and at your own pace. In this course of study, the proof is in the pudding. That means if you learn to play and play well, then this educational endeavor was a success. If you don't learn to play and play well, you're not done with the educational endeavor. Let me tell you, I've got a degree from Berklee College of Music and 2 other college degrees on top of that. Not only that, I have taught in a myriad of formalized educational settings, and I only wish that this philosophy, or something like it, could have been employed even a little bit during those experiences. As a teacher, it's not like I'm trying to make Chevrolets, where everybody gets the same computer chip, the same paint job, and the same emblem, called a diploma or a grade. It's more like I'm trying to make you think. I'm trying to make you think about what it means to play the guitar, how you learn the guitar, what your relationship with music will be. If you're going to music school, you want to go to guitar school, you're in the right place. If you want to play professionally, or if you do play professionally and you want to get better, you're in the right place. If you just love to play and want to know everything you can know about it, this is also the right course for you. To make sure you're ready to approach the next lessons in this course, I've included 2 songs that will give you the opportunity to play each and every one of the basic 15 open string chords in a musical setting. The first one is a simplified version of the great rock standard, House of the Rising Sun. In doing that, I'm just doing a simple 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's my picking pattern. You can clearly see that indicated in the tablature. I've got a play-along exercise in the lesson, but I'll show you how I do it. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The second song I've included is something I like to call Domination, which gives you a lot of practice playing the dominant 7th chords, chords which are often overlooked in the beginning phases of learning the guitar. There's also a lot of chords which wander in and out of the key of C. It's enjoyable. It sounds like an old-time bluesy, ragtime, or maybe early jazz song. I think you'll like it. Great. That's the basic idea of what will happen here. Although this course is not a way for me to sell you material, get your credit card number, promote or market myself, I would highly recommend you check out some of the books I have published over the years. For beginners, I have something called Guitar Buddy. For experienced players, intermediate players, and teachers, I have something called Guitar Chord Guru. These books are available at bookstores throughout the country or online at Amazon.com. But let me be clear, you don't need the books to take this course. And also let me repeat, GuitarU.com is not about me promoting myself or selling stuff. It's strictly for the purpose of sharing what little knowledge I may have and enabling anyone who wants to play the guitar to be able to play the guitar. I'm hoping to give people who need it and want it a music school experience. Okay, this is Karl signing off. Welcome to GuitarU.com. Welcome to my course of study on chords. And I hope you enjoy it.